Really disturbing scenes in Paris yesterday. Just tell us what we know so far about what happened.
Well, you described the attack. The gunman, who is described as a 69-year-old retired train driver, has been arrested. He was overpowered by local people shortly after the shootings, and the police then took him away minutes after the attack. So he allegedly walked into the Kurdish Cultural Centre first, fired several shots in there, then went into a hairdressing salon, which is next to the cultural centre, fired some more shots there, and then apparently went into the bathroom and attempted to reload his handgun. And that's when the owner of the hair salon and several other people went in there and overpowered him and took his weapon away. Now, this is a man who has form. He was only released from custody less than 2 weeks ago. He was awaiting trial for what's believed to have been another racially motivated attack, where he took a sword and went into a migrant camp, stabbed 2 people, not fatally, and slashed their tents. So there's going to be a lot of questions now about why this man was released, if he was dangerous, how come he had a gun, why didn't the police vet him properly, or there's going to be...
Well, absolutely, and that's one of the reasons why there were protests yesterday. I believe I actually spoke to you yesterday, and I was live on air when the riots, protests, whatever you want to call them, really broke out, and it looked as though it had the potential to get incredibly nasty, incredibly quickly. The police, there's elements of the Kurdish community. Has that kind of calmed down now, or is there something still simmering?
No, the protests have calmed down now, but they did last for a few hours, and calm wasn't restored till about 7 p.m. Paris time, so it was a good 3 or 4 hours. To be honest with you, I think the television pictures probably look a little bit worse than the situation actually was. What seems to have happened is that the Interior Minister went to the scene to express solidarity with the Kurdish community and so on, and French police operating the way they do, there were a lot of them. Some of them were in full riot gear. They immediately threw up a security cordon around the minister. Now, that seems to have infuriated some of the protesters who believe that the Kurdish community is not adequately protected by the French state, and they started hurling rocks at the police, who responded with tear gas. See, I think there's 2 different perceptions of this attack. For most French people, it's a racially motivated attack by a man who, for whatever reason, doesn't like foreigners, doesn't like immigrants. For the Kurdish community, this has revived traumatic memories of the killings of 3 female Kurdish activists in just that same area of Paris almost 10 years ago. Now, a Turkish citizen was arrested for those killings, but it's widely believed among the Kurdish community in Paris that the Turkish state was somehow behind those killings, and the man arrested died before he could be brought to trial. And so even though they realised that this was a Frenchman who carried out this attack yesterday, many members of the Kurdish community in Paris still continue to believe that the Turkish state was somehow involved in this.